Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports. When
It comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
Buchanan, in your lifetime, what are some of the TV shows that were, maybe you watched them, maybe you didn't, that were known for just drama? Some, you know, like Desperate Housewives, drama, Dynasty.
Yeah, Dallas.
Dallas, yeah.
Yeah. Who Shot JR?
Yeah.
Drama.
Like, you know, just like the Real Housewives of, I don't know, New Brunswick, New Jersey. I don't know.
Yeah, I never saw that.
Maybe the Youngers. Let's see. Kayla Gaither, what's like a drama show like today?
I would say drama. Are you talking about like housewife drama? Or
Sure, I don't care.
I would say Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Obi, you're a big fan of that.
Hill Street Blues.
These are shows that none of these children know.
Gunsmoke.
Gunsmoke.
My lifetime.
We're talking about the 60s.
Yeah.
Nigrin, you got a show like that's just drama? Do you watch television other than the NBA?
I do watch television, just not reality TV shows.
It didn't have to be reality. I think like Yellowstone had drama, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to make a correlation or a comparison with, but that's Petiti and Sankey. There's just drama. They like each other, but do they? They're allies, but are they?
Yeah, they definitely have different ideas.
So let's kind of go through. So yesterday, Big Ten media days, or not, excuse me, spring meeting, media, whatever they call it. Okay. It's going on.
Yeah.
Tony Petiti held court for an hour with the reporters. Okay. Whole hour answering questions. He says the 16-team playoff doesn't give enough access and doesn't work economically, and you'd still need to eliminate conference title games, as valued as a combined $200 million. He doesn't believe you can make that number up with 16. He's of the opinion that 12 is better than 16, but 24 is the way to go.
Yeah. How would, if you could do conference championship games with 12?
Because there's an extra round of games. Because the way he has it is...
He still wants to give everybody a bye?
Is it the top? Let me see. I have it written down here.
You don't.
So let's see.
Nobody gets a bye with 16 games.
Ross Dellinger, SEC administrator. Many of us want 16 more than 24, one school said, but 24 more than 12. 2014 playoff would be the top 24 rankings, highest ranked group of 6 assured. The top 8 seeds would earn a bye into the second round, with seeds 9 through 24 of a better seed. The format generates 12 additional home playoff games and a lot more participants as well. Teams 1 through 8 would earn a bye, but then also get a home game in the second round.
Yeah, if you have 24 teams, you can't have a conference championship game. But with 16, it doesn't add a week to the schedule. At 16,
nobody gets a bye.
So all those games those bye games that were played for everybody's playing that weekend. So 16 doesn't change.
And you can still have your conference tournament.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plus, I just think that I think when you get to 24, you start thinking about if you're not. I'm throwing out the mid-major conferences. I'm throwing them out. WAC, MAC, all those guys.
They're out.
Mountain West, because typically there's only one team that even has a chance, and that's because you kind of allow it. So you get to 24, it's almost harder to stay out of the playoff than to get into it. I'm exaggerating to some degree, but I was looking at it. If you had 24 teams last year, Texas and Notre Dame and Vanderbilt get in, and they probably deserved it, and maybe BYU and Iowa is making a case because their 3 losses were to, I think, Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon.
Right.
So they might get in, but like if I'm Petiti, I'm looking at it, I'm saying, if you lose last year as a guide, his Big Ten would have gotten one more team, Iowa, maybe. I don't think USC would have gotten in. So I just think a playoff is supposed to be
exclusive.
Very exclusive. You are recognizing greatness, excellence, instead of rewarding being pretty good. I don't want to say mediocrity because you're better than mediocre, but being pretty good.
It'd be like the coach of the year. They're going to give the award to the top 6 coaches. Not the coach of the year.
Yeah.
Hey, let's give everybody a participation trophy. Everybody gets to play.
Yeah, I just... And if you go to 24, I guarantee you it may not be in for 5 or 6 years or 10, but they'll eventually go to 32.
So one of the big things against the 2014 playoff, and Petiti's got an argument that to me didn't make sense. I'll read it to you here in a second, but maybe you can make sense of it. The teams are going to sit really good players towards the end of the season so they don't get hurt because they're already locked in the playoffs.
Some will. If
you see it in the NFL?
Yeah, if you know that
your top 4 seed, 8 seed,
right, and you don't, you think, okay, I'm gonna get a bye. I guarantee I'm not worried about it. Then, or if it's not going to matter, like you said, why not sit a guy out?
Why would they play? So he says, he fights back on that narrative. At 24, you're always trying to improve your resume. So if somewhere between 16 and 24 and 25 the last week of the season, you've got to protect your spot. That's number one. If you're somewhere between 17 and 18, you're trying to get into between 8 and 16. And home games are really valuable, right? So that last game you're playing, I don't understand the testing the idea because you're never safely in one spot. This isn't the Philadelphia Eagles who know the last week of the season, whether they win or not, they can improve their seed or make it worse.
Yeah. I disagree. I think there was a lot of times that the guys will play. But last year, I would hope that no matter the situation at A&M, if you have 24 teams, last year they got the 8th seed. They know it. They're 3rd in the nation. I would hope that if your last game is against Texas, that's going to mean enough to all your guys to play. But what if you're a team that doesn't play just an arch rival in that last game?
And even if it is an arch rival, if you're playing for something bigger and you got a guy who's if he's hurt, but he could play, they'll sit him.
Right. As well they should, If a guy's got my shoulder's sore, it's not dislocated, but it's sore. Like you said, in a normal game, he'd play, but he's not going to play. So but beyond that, to me, 24 is just diluting the playoffs too much. And then you start, I think, at least to some degree, you start the regular season may not mean as much. I get you still got to get in, but do you care about winning a championship and all those things anymore?
Something else that he said, he would go to Petiti would agree to 16 if 24 was the eventual end game, but he is not going to go to 16 as the end game. So he'd rather just stay at 12 and wait it out.
Okay. Well, tell you the truth, I'd rather them stay at 12 than go to 24.
Would you rather them stay at 12 or go to 16?
I'd rather them go to 16. I've been very consistent on that. And the only reason I say that is because, I'll echo it again for about the 100th time.
You don't like the bye?
I don't like one team having to play 4 games or 5 games or whatever it is to win a championship, and 4 teams only having to play 3.
But you would prefer 8 out of all the scenarios?
Yeah, 8 would have been, in my opinion, would have been perfect because, again, it would have put even more importance on winning a conference championship, which, the greedy, money-hungry guys out there now are saying, well, that's not going to give it 8. It's not going to raise enough money. Getting on topic here, but I keep hearing about how the finances are so, that all these universities now are such a financial dire straits because of having to pay players and all this, and yet I don't see any major athletic directors or people like that, coaches taking pay cuts or the salaries dropping. They keep making money.
Well, I forget who wrote it. It might have been Dellinger. No, I think it was Heather Dinich about how sustainable this model in college sports. If teams are really paying $20 to $40 million a year, how sustainable 5 years, 10 years down the road is going to be. But at the end of the day, they keep spending money, and they're going to find different ways to make the money and this is why the 2014 playoff, they find it a way to make some more money. But Sankey, it looks like Sankey's doing what's good for the game, but right now, Petitti feels like there's an arrogance to his smile because they've won the last 3 national championships. He's got the ACC on his side on this, the Big 12 on his side on this. He thinks he's going to get it his way.
He might. But I hope Greg Sankey sticks to his guns on this one and says, no, we're never going to sign off on that.
Yeah, and I thought I had it here, but the who was it? It was the Iowa State AD who was like, if the Big 10 and the SEC want to leave.
Yeah,
we don't need you.
That's hysterical because he says a 20-team league. Well, first of all, it wouldn't be 20 teams.
It'd be 40.
Yeah, it would be 40 and probably add some more.
Yeah,
because Notre Dame is going to go with those 2 guys, and there's going to be all these other teams that want to go, and they say, okay, we're going to expand and make it 48, and then the teams like the programs like Iowa State become even more irrelevant.
Yep, they become the Division II.
Yeah.
Hey, this is TexAgs Live. You knew that.
Yeah. You know what else I knew?
Is the Wire Vero Wednesday?
Well, yeah, it's kind of a wide, but it's not traditional. But that TexAgs Live is brought to you by David Garner Jr.
I knew that. That part I did know. I did know that this studio has a name, but right now I forgot it.
The Rollo Insurance Studio.
Oh, that's
How
right.
can you forget that?
Jason Jackson and the boys?
And the boys.
And
Keys, Morgan, everybody.
Yep. And this hour has a name. We call it the Go Hour, presented by the who?
Warehouse at CC Creations.
And we are currently hanging out at a place that we call the Holistic Planning
Cool Zone.
Because it's cool to make money, OB.
Yeah.
And if you want to be a part of the conversation, you can do it multiple ways. You can call us up on the Buffy's Catering and
Bartending
hotline, 979-693-1150, or text us on the
Catalyst Pure Performance Energy text line.
979-693-1150. Let's go around the room. Let's go left to right. We go behind the glass, and we check in once again with Reese Nygren, big fan of the Desperate Housewives and the Kardashians.
Yeah, that's frequently on my TV is Desperate Housewives and the Kardashians, 24/7.
Have you ever watched the Kardashians, honestly?
No. I can honestly say that and I can't understand why anybody would.
Never watched it.
But I will say I never watched Desperate Housewives, but I thought Eva Longoria was kind of hot.
Very good actress.
Terry Hatcher, too.
Terry Hatcher, yeah.
Real pretty.
She was Lois Lane.
Was she?
On The Diaries of Clark and Lois, whatever it was called. It was some drama show.
I never saw that either.
Yeah.
I just know she was the real and spectacular on Seinfeld.
That's true.
Yeah.
They're real and they're spectacular, Nygren. You don't know what we're talking about. Please don't Google it. Continue on.
So I don't know if you guys have seen what Will Wade is trying to build down there in Baton Rouge with a basketball team, but he's currently trying to get 2 players who have played professional basketball. One of them was actually involved in an NBA trade on his roster. I'm just curious what your guys' thoughts are because, as we know, Bucky does have Bryson Warren also on his roster.
So, look, I am for sell on this topic. Okay, I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
if other people are doing it, I want A&M to take advantage of the rules. I personally do not like the idea if you play G League or NBA and you have multiple years for the good of the college game that I remember. But if people are doing it, I want A&M to be the best at doing it. I've been pretty.
It's hard to for me to criticize Will Wade when everybody is getting loopholes.
Yeah.
I mean, Alabama played the guy last year, Bediako, that had been.
And those wins counted.
And they counted.
So I
just wish the NCAA would have some backbone and actually come up and actually rule on this stuff. Say no.
But the interesting part is people are really mad at Will Wade, more mad than other, like Tom Izzo. I don't know if that was a fake tweet.
Yeah,
about,
you got faked out by a fake John Rothstein.
Gosh, I get this. Everything's a fake. Everything's a fake, OB. I'm not even here.
Not Terry Hatcher.
No, they're real and spectacular.
AI slop.
But that sentiment is out there on social media from coaches, right? There's anonymous coaches talking about they don't. Am I making that part up, or no? Is that part true?
I haven't seen any, but
Okay.
I'm sure there are head coaches out there who are absolutely livid at Will Wade. He also has three European pros on his team. One of them is 25 years old. So, I mean, I'm not hating on the European pro, but the dude is 25.
A&M brought in a European pro.
Yeah.
I mean, how can I get... I don't want to be two-faced about it. If I was good with one, then... So now the age is the issue.
Well, here's the thing. I think, depending on who you root for, you can kind of muddy the waters enough to see it your way, right? So, the Bediako situation... in their eyes, it made sense. Like, hey, this guy isn't playing. He wants to go get a degree, and he wants to play basketball. What's wrong with that? That's how they talk.
Yes, it is. It's exactly.
And then, and then you got LSU, like, the guy just wants to get an education and play some basketball. Like, so, unless you have real rules that people can enforce, it doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying. NCAA, you got a new president who's done nothing.
Yeah, now,
like the previous president.
I don't know here. I know Luke had a response to people who didn't see the difference, and he thought everybody who didn't see the difference is an idiot. So I'm going to read it to you as I find it. Here it is. I lied to you. It's not right here. I'll find it. Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center and find out what's going on. Kelly Gaither, what do you have?
Well, I was going to talk about the ABS system in SEC baseball. We saw it for the first time last night. Ole Miss was the first team to use ABS challenge system in the SEC tournament. They put out a little graphic about it. They ultimately lost their first challenge and the game to Missouri 10-8 in an upset. So just in this game, there were 10 ABS challenges used, including 9 by Missouri. 7 of the calls were overturned in that game. So interesting stuff.
It just goes to show you that all these things we were complaining about umpiring and officiating are legitimate.
And it just means computers are taking over the world.
Well, you know what? Do your damn job correctly, officials, and you don't have to worry about computers taking your job. But when what did you say? 7 out of
10.
7 out of 10. When 70% of the time there's a questionable call, you're wrong. Then you need to bring in some computers to fix the incompetency of the officiating and umpiring.
Yeah. What else, Kayla?
Well, moving on to Aggie men's golf, Shiv Parmar yesterday landed an eagle from 90 feet
Holy
out,
smokes!
helping the Aggies place second in the NCAA men's golf Brian.
Now, who did that?
Shiv Parmar.
Shiv Parmar.
Yes.
All right.
It was incredible. We're showing the video right now, but he helped the Aggies place second, and they were 40 under to place second place, and Texas is ahead of them at 45 under, but they're moving on to their 5th straight NCAA championship round.
Let's go. Fighting Cortons. I found the tweet, OB.
Okay.
Ready? So somebody tweeted, I'm confused on why people are acting like Will Wade is the only one doing this. This is from Hold That Tiger. Okay?
Okay.
He points out Bryson Warren committing to A&M, who played in the G League. Okay?
Yeah.
He points that out. Right? It's a tweet.
And there are other players in the G League that are in G League as Luke pointed out when A&M added Bryson Warren.
Well, here's what he says. Pretty clear this guy has no idea what he's talking about if he thinks Warren never drafted or played college is even close to, is it Lewis or Luis? Luis? Luis, okay. Already played college. Niang and Madar, I'm sure I'm butchering these names, 26-year-old drafted 5 years ago. LOL. I'll shut up and let him explain this to me. He's an uneducated LSU fan who didn't do an ounce of research. So what do we expect?
Okay, so the fact that he played at another college is irrelevant to me because we have guys that play at 7 colleges now and keep playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, he went to the G League out of college. Now, if you want to say that's the line that you can't cross, that you go to G League and play and then come back. But I think Luke's already said other teams have done that.
Mm-hmm.
So now are we saying that the problem is that you're 25? Well, as a senior citizen, I'm going to say that that's ageism.
Are you considered a senior citizen?
Well, I know I park in the good spaces at HEB.
Do you really?
I do if I'm
When does that start? Because I don't want to get old, but I'm interested.
Well, it started with me. I said, well, you know, on the senior tour, it's 55.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if that's the way HEB looked at it. And you know what I used to do? I'm going to have, if you don't mind, it's a visual aid here. If the parking lot was too full and I parked there and I still didn't, maybe I qualified at 55, but I, really wasn't. And Armin would say, I can't believe you're doing this. We'd get out of the car and I'd get out and I'd walk like this in the HEBs just so if anybody.
Well, you walk like that now.
Yeah, but this was years ago, just in case if anybody was upset with me, they'd say, oh, well, I see the way he's walking. I get it.
OB, remember my trick for you to get your steps in, you park as far as possible to go to HEB.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe, maybe sometimes, but especially if it's one of those 100-degree days in July. Now, I can't say that exactly was when it happened. I just knew I needed a parking space.
How many steps do you think it would take to go from here to 1775? I'm going to say 14,000 steps.
14,000?
What do you think? About 6. How many miles is it?
That's the question. If it's about 3 miles, I'd say.
Oh, if it's 3 miles,
that's about
less than 10,000.
That's about 5,400.
I think it's more than 3 miles, but
Okay, so 4 miles.
We're just going to say it's going to be 10,000 steps.
5.9 miles.
Oh,
okay. And ask Google.
So I'd say 10,800.
I'm going to say 11,700 steps.
I'm saying 10,800. 10,800.
Come on, do the math. Let's go. Just ask Google, bro.
But you know what?
I see you on your phone. Just ask. Okay, we got to talk about 17.
Every single step
is
worth it for that succulent brisket.
For a distance of 5.9 miles, the number of steps ranges between 11,800 and 14,750.
Wow.
I think I won the game.
Okay.
Yeah. You know how I know? Because I stress about my steps. Because I want to walk to 1775 for that succulent brisket and that jalapeno cheese sausage.
And those amazing pork ribs.
Oh, yes.
And you know what? You might need to carb up for your walk back.
Another 11,800 steps.
And how do you carb up for that?
Queso mac and cheese.
Heck yeah. Queso mac and cheese. You damn right.
And if you want to go to the gym after that,
yeah,
you can also get a Belinda dessert.
Yeah, and then walk to the gym. Now, I don't know how far that is, but by the time you get finished, you've probably got enough steps for the whole week.
So there we go. 25,000 steps for your heart to feel full and your stomach to feel full. Go to 1775, txbbq.com, or call them up, 979-492-6241.
Yeah, it's because it's good.
Oh, I didn't even say the name, but it's 1775.
Oh, 1775. It's good. Everybody knows.
Yeah, it's good. Bye. Hey everyone, David Nuño here of TexAgs Live. I want to introduce you to the team at Holistic Planning. Got Jason Barber here, Taylor Pankratz, and also Paul Meredith. Jason, I want to start off with you. What really sets Holistic Planning apart from the others?
Yeah, so what makes us different is most financial advisors stop at investment management. On the other hand, Holistic Planning, we manage investments, taxes, and estate planning all on one team, all underneath one roof.
Now, Taylor, when everything is coordinated like that, it really helps the bottom line, doesn't it?
It really does. When your investments and taxes are working together, you stop leaving money on the table and keep more of what's yours.
Paul, Holistic Planning is trying to expand as well.
That's true. We just opened our Houston office, and we're looking for people who feel like their advisor isn't seeing the full picture, because that's exactly what we fix.
And Jason, there's other opportunities beyond that.
Definitely. If you're a financial advisor and you want to join the Holistic Planning team, we're looking to add 50 teams in the next 5 to 10 years. So check out holisticplanning.com/advisors.
All right, so if you want a team that actually coordinates everything, go to holisticplanning.com. Aggies, this one is worth it. We're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're in the Rollo Insurance Studio. It is the Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. There was some song that played yesterday, and it was definitely not your kind of music.
Okay.
I forget what it was. It was definitely a rap song.
Okay.
And John and Cypress sent in a text about the worst song he'd ever heard, and somebody, I don't know who, responded, "That's OB's playlist." And he was like, "There's no chance that's OB's playlist." Anyway, do you know who, this has nothing to do with what we're going to talk about,
Okay.
but do you know who The Mentalist is?
It was a TV show, right?
Well, there was a TV show but there's a guy, is it Oz, The Mentalist Perlman? Perlman?
Oz.
Is it Oz
I think
Oz,
he goes by Oz.
Oz the Mentalist.
I think he goes by Oz.
He might.
I think he goes by Oz.
I don't know him.
Anyway, he basically he went on Rogan and famously guessed his PIN number on his ATM card. He does these tricks. He goes to all these college football programs and NFL programs and like messes with the guys and figures stuff out about their first crush or this or that. And he's a success. Well, there's a guy named Pablo Torre, the investigative reporter.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of times he annoys me, but he's a pretty good investigative reporter. He did a whole breakdown on Oz's act. And I don't know why I'm bringing it up, but I said his name in the background when we were back there when I guessed the exact steps. And I listened to it for a little bit this morning. It was quite fascinating, the length that these people go to sell their magic.
So maybe you're kind of the mentalist. You can walk up and say, hey, Gaither, you've taken 200 steps today.
Do you have a watch?
I can check my phone. Let's see.
Have you been carrying your phone all day, though?
No. So
okay, I'm going to guess you're at 800 steps.
It's probably less than that, honestly.
Yeah, I'm going to guess you're at
my phone says 0, so.
Okay, well, you haven't taken your phone anywhere.
Yeah, that's less than 800.
OB, I'm going to guess you probably didn't go out for a walk this morning because of the rain, but you went to the gym.
I didn't do anything today.
Okay, so you're at about, you've been up since 3 a.m.? I don't know if you carry your phone around.
I didn't. I slept all
Till what
night.
time?
Till 5.
Okay, then I'm going to say
and then
you're
stayed
at
in bed.
1,200 steps.
Oh, I know I'm not there.
Oh, my God, what's wrong with you? I suck at this game.
422.
Oh, my, can you guys move? It's 8:30.
I was up to 11,000 yesterday.
Okay.
But only 422 today.
Guess mine today. And it's not going to be great.
Let's see, 10,800, or you said 11,000, so probably halfway there already. So I'll say, you probably got about 5,000 in this.
Oh, that's way too low.
Way too low.
7,564.
7,000, okay. See, it's more than halfway.
Yeah, I don't think people care about my steps. Let's talk some college football, shall we?
Yeah.
It's never a bad time to talk college football.
Never a bad time to talk college football.
All right. I feel like this particular topic deserves more than the 2 minutes we have. So I'll start it here, and then we'll just continue on. Sound good?
Yeah.
Athlon Sports Anonymous Coach.
I brought mine.
You see what the anonymous coach said about Marcel?
Yeah, I did.
I always thought quarterback Marcel Reed was a great athlete. I respect him, but I always judge those on, do they win the big games? Are they the main difference? He's got a year under his belt, but there's going to be more pressure on him facing the top half of the league and not just coming down to the Texas game at the end. So do you read that as he doesn't win the big game? Because I think he's won a lot of big games.
Notre Dame comes to mind.
That does come to mind. LSU a couple different
comes
times.
to mind. He was very good in a second half comeback against South Carolina.
Yeah. Maybe they don't think South Carolina last year should be considered a big game.
Yeah, but when you're down 30-3 at halftime and you come back and win,
it becomes a huge win.
Yeah. Really, is it always all going to go back to Texas and Miami? Miami shut down a lot of teams.
They beat Missouri this past year too.
Yeah.
And Missouri was, a pretty good team.
You know what I think? I wonder if they feel like they found something at the end of the Miami game. Remember, A&M
couldn't move the ball,
but then they had to, and they start going with tempo, and it boom, boom, boom down to the 5-yard line. I wonder if they're going to say, "Hey, let's do more of that with Marcel all the time."
They did a lot of that in the South Carolina second half as well. So when they feel forced to move the ball, I think, and I don't know if it's a Marcel doesn't have to think; he's just reacting, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe there's some paralysis by analysis. Maybe they just let it loose, right? Just go make a play. And look, there's no denying he has to be better.
He has to be better. We all know that.
But, and I feel like this has been a topic for too long, but people keep writing about him, so I'm gonna defend him where I can. His floor last year was at times not good. His ceiling was incredible. So raise the floor a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying he has to, and this came up yesterday on the show, and I'm gonna say it again. He was a Heisman contender until the Texas game.
Some had him, and I'm not talking about me. I'm saying others nationally, like Josh Pate, had him as a favorite going into the Texas game.
ESPN had him as the top 3 or 4 guy.
Yeah.
So this wasn't TexAgs saying that. But look, he does have to cut down turnovers. No doubt about it.
Especially in the red zone.
Has to cut those down. And they also got to run the ball better in big games.
But here's what when I think about Marcel, I think about some of the plays he made that got called back.
He had a bunch of those.
He wins.
The Auburn game, right? I think there was one there.
I guess it was Auburn. Was it Auburn where he threw a touchdown pass that would have sealed it?
Yep.
And then there's a guy downfield. He had a long touchdown run against Arkansas that would have sealed it. No, they had a hold.
LSU? Didn't he have a big run against LSU? Or am I making
he had one for a touchdown, but it didn't call back.
There wasn't a one that they called back.
South Carolina. Before he threw the pass to KC that got him ball at the 5, and then EJ scored the game. Marcel had a long touchdown run on that one.
Yes, he did.
And it got called back on what I thought was a bogus holding penalty on Basantes. Remember, he pushed the guy down. So he made a lot of big plays that got called back.
He did. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the end of the game and the end of the season. And that's where he's got to be at his absolute best.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought he was for up until the 5-yard line. I thought he was at his best on that last drive against Miami.
And remember the Texas game? I know he threw a couple of interceptions down the stretch. They were moving the ball for a bit, though, on two consecutive drives where you're like, okay, they've got something here. Mm-hmm. And then they didn't.
My take on that Texas game, and I'm sure I'm wrong, right? But just this is what it looked like to me, is that Marcel was looking for big plays.
Yeah. Well,
and there were check downs and opportunities to scramble or check down to somebody else and he didn't take them.
I also remember I've gone back to watch it, but my recollection of it live was a little tainted at the end of the game because they had us in that little corner where we couldn't see. Do you remember, like, they had us in an area where we really couldn't see what was happening? Anyway, we'll hit a break here. We'll come back. More college football will be because it's always
good time talking.
Milliken Reserve, farm-to-table community in College Station. They got homes, they got trails, they got farms, they got wide open spaces, and they have a mission to build a healthy community around nature. They want to connect families to nature and to each other with an extensive network of trails throughout a wooded landscape that includes walking and equestrian paths and creeks and ponds and gathering areas. It is a place committed to maintaining that natural habitat, which means if you're a homeowner at Milliken Reserve, you're going to share in a legacy of conservation, which means generation after generation coming back to that pristine countryside place. Check out the website, millikenreserve.com. That website, again, is millikenreserve.com.
TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Our friend JD Piquel.
Yeah,
with JD. Good dude. He has his 2026 national championship contenders. He sets that up into real contenders and then dark horses.
Okay.
What do you want to hear first,
Well,
the dark
first,
horses or the contenders?
Well, the real contenders are he's probably going to say Ohio State. He's going to say Texas. He's going to say Georgia and Oregon.
He's got 7 listed.
And A&M.
Okay. Number 1, Georgia.
Number 1, Georgia. Okay.
Number 2, Ohio State.
Okay.
Number 3, Oregon.
Okay.
Number 4, Miami.
Miami.
5, Notre Dame.
Okay.
6, Texas.
Yeah.
7, Indiana.
Well, I've learned not to doubt Signetti.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Notre Dame, they're in the playoff today. I can tell you right now. That schedule is so. Talk about tiptoe through the tulips. I don't know if you ever heard of Tiny Tim.
I've never heard of that yet.
But this,
I know Tiny Tim, yeah.
Yeah, tiptoe through the tulips. That's not that Tiny Tim from.
OnlyFans? No.
From what?
Nothing. Never mind.
I thought you were talking about like the what is it?
That was my group.
The Charles Dickens.
Yeah,
know,
of course.
The Scrooge. You know what was that called? Christmas Carol.
Yes, the Christmas Carol. Yeah.
But there was a '60s folk singer kind of strange thing named Tiny Tim. What I'm saying is that Notre Dame's schedule is not challenging.
No. And I'm wondering if Texas being as low as they are might be because of their challenging schedule.
Well, low. He's saying there's one of the national championship contenders.
Sure, but I think we would have probably guessed they would have been higher based on the way the media talks about them. But Ohio State on their schedule, going to Tennessee, obviously the A&M and Oklahoma games were big games. At LSU, they do host Ole Miss. I mean, those are some tough games.
Yeah. Hopefully go 8-4.
That'd be great. Or 7-5 would be better.
Even better.
And now we move on to the dark horse.
The dark horse.
And the dark horse is presented as 8 through 12.
Okay.
8, Texas Tech. I think the quarterback situation will help determine if they go a little bit higher, a little bit lower.
I don't think I'd bet on Texas Tech. Sorsby would.
Oklahoma at number 9.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought Oklahoma was overhyped last year,
but they had a hard schedule last year that they.
They're in the SEC. You're going to have a hard schedule.
Okay. Number 10 on the list. You're fighting Texas Aggies.
Whoop.
Gig 'em Aggies. Number 11, LSU.
Yeah, I guess.
And number 12, Ole Miss.
Yeah, Ole Miss might be. I really love Trinidad Chambliss. That's my kind of quarterback. Guy who doesn't have to run, but does run. I mean, can run.
And can throw.
And can throw. Yeah, you got to do both. Lacey's a heck of a running back. They got a heck of a defensive player. Is it Perkins? Like, I can't think of his name right. Long first name, like Sandestin, where I'm going next week, but it's not Sandestin. Long first name. He's a good pass rusher.
You know, that trip sounds amazing. And then you explain it to me, not amazing.
It's really not. It's, if you're not working, it's amazing. It's beautiful there.
Yeah.
But, you really don't. Anyway.
Get your steps on the beach.
You won't. Not even you would. You just don't have enough time to get out there. I like Texas A&M being in that dark horse category.
Okay.
Yeah. Secretariat was a dark horse.
This is true.
I don't know. Is a chestnut considered dark? Look, they all look. If it's not white, it's a dark horse to me. Or a palomino, it's not a dark horse. But if they're a dark horse, why are you making that face? If it's not,
I can take it multiple ways.
It's a white horse we're talking about.
Yes, I get it. It's a white horse. By the way, I watched the first
silver,
episode.
like the Lone Ranger, silver.
I watched the first episode of the Duttons or the Dutton Ranch.
I did too.
I kind of like it.
I do too.
I kind of feel like it's Yellowstone 2.0.
Yeah, but maybe even a little more violent.
A little more violent. Now, I will say the fight scene wasn't great. I felt like Rip has lost a step. He's looking like Liam Neeson when he punches now.
Okay.
But like, we're big Yellowstone guys here on this show.
Yeah, and they're in Texas now.
And they don't like the heat.
I love that. Can't believe it's this hot at 4 a.m. Welcome to Texas,
Welcome
honey.
to Texas. So I don't know if anybody else. So, and the reason I bring it up is when the Marshals came out. Remember,
Yeah, that was awful.
I watched one episode. I'm out. I don't know if it's gotten better or not. I like Casey Dutton's character. Didn't like it.
Yeah.
I watched the Madison. I haven't finished it. Has nothing to do with Yellowstone, which hurts my heart, but it's a good show.
Okay.
This show is pretty good.
Yeah. I've
one episode or two?
Two. I've watched the 2 episodes.
The second one good?
Yeah.
Okay. Because the first one was really good.
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody cares. We're going to move on.
Yeah, they care.
Do you think they care?
Yeah, I think
if
so.
you care about is it called the Duttons?
The Dutton Ranch.
The Dutton Ranch. If you care, text the show 979-693-1150. That is the Catalyst Pure Performance Energy text line, or tell us on the YouTube page. We'll hit a break. We'll close out the Go Hour with one more segment. A moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online at caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. Your trade-in has value, and at Caldwell Country Chevrolet, they're ready to put that equity to work for you. They have a pre-owned inventory that moves fast, which means they're always looking to add to their lot, which means they're looking to deal for you. And that means you bring your car there, they'll take a look at it, their experts will give you a great price on it, and then you can apply it to your next vehicle, right? You can apply that to a great car from Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Honest deals from people you can trust that treat you like family. That's the Caldwell way. Remember, it's about a 15-minute drive, the edge of Bryan, to the beginnings of Caldwell. A short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the good people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. Hey everyone, David Nuño of TexAgs Live, and I'm here with Brandon Moreau of Brazos Valley Floor and Design. They're a family-owned business, and Brandon used to work for the A&M football team, the Texans, you name it. Brandon, tell us a little bit about Brazos Valley Floor and Design.
Yeah, like I said, family business. We started in 1999. It was in a small feed store, and about 4 years later, my dad decided he wanted to grow the business and kind of focus on that. So we're in the location we are at now, and we have a large showroom with salespeople with designer experience, a lot of stocking power, and we catered a lot to residential builders, and we do a little commercial work as well.
Tell me about your other company as well, Premier Countertop Design.
Yeah, Premier Countertop Design is right there on site, so it's kind of a one-stop shop. People can come by, they can look at their slabs that they're going to cut, they're going to compare it to their cabinet colors, their backsplash that they're going to do at our flooring store, and we have a lot of digital. We're doing a lot of digital stuff. We're templating, water jet, laser measuring, all different things like that.
So tell me a little bit about what sets you guys apart from the rest of the competition.
I think just being here in the community for 27 years in business, and our vendors that we have the relationships with, the pricing we can get because of how much we can buy in stock and things like that. And then as far as the countertop business, is just the way we can be precise with what we do.
All right, there you have it, guys. Check out the website, bvflooranddesign.com and premiercountertopdesign.com. should have been a Cowboy, Opie.
Yeah, I should have been a Cowboy too.
Yeah. We went to go eat at his place.
Toby Keith's place. We did up in Oklahoma City.
I actually liked it.
It was a good place.
It was good.
I'm not surprised.
Been a Cowboy. Yeah.
I should have learned to rope and ride.
I don't know how to do any of that.
I'll be riding my pony on a cattle drive.
I'm going to have
that's the lyric to the song.
Gaither read a couple of messages on the YouTube page. So let's start off with Figurine Champ. I believe he's talking about who goes to bed earlier. That one. Do you see it, or do you want me to read it?
You can read it. I can't see it.
Okay, Figurine Champ says, wonder who goes to bed earlier, Nuño or Dad? I think you're Dad. Oh, guarantee it's me.
Probably.
Last night, I was in bed at 9:12.
Last night, I went to bed at 9 o'clock, but I turned on the TV. But here's the deal with me.
I can track. I have my numbers.
Here's the deal with me. It takes me a couple of days to fully recover from a trip.
Yep.
And I had driven to Baton Rouge and back, and I'm still...
You're still struggling?
Was still in the process of recovering.
And then Sam says, does David have brass knuckles on? Yeah, I do, Sam. And if you keep texting about the University of Texas, you can find out. And I'm kidding. This is so what do you call it? Not a brace. So
I don't know what
it's for my broken finger. I don't know. It's not a brace.
Oh, okay.
And
it's kind of like a splint, except the splint goes that way.
Yeah, it's a splint. There you go. Dr. DeStefano was watching yesterday.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're not wearing your splint, whatever it's called.
I said,
and I left it at home. I promise I always wear it. So Dr. D, I'm wearing it. And Dr. Gibbs, definitely wearing it.
You know what, though? Now that the guy mentions it, I'm kind of surprised that you don't wear like brass knuckles on both hands on a daily basis.
Let me give you a reason.
Because you're just waiting to kick somebody's ass.
I am waiting for it, but I don't want to because I know I'm going to get my butt kicked. But I'm so confident in OP, I don't need brass knuckles because I'll run fast from the fight.
If someone actually came up to challenge David, like, Dave would just rip off his shirt and flex, and they'd run away.
I do that anyway.
Yeah, I know.
I ran this morning shirtless. No, I'm kidding. I wore a shirt. Anyway, let's go back.
I can do this. I can rip off my shirt and people run away,
do it right
too.
now on the show. Right now.
People just run away.
Just do it.
You have an undershirt. I don't want people throwing up.
All right. Gaither, let's close it out with some class, shall we?
So there's another comment I saw earlier from Randy Trujillo. This might be a segment for later. He says, what is the worst call in sports history that would have been changed with instant replay now?
Probably Des Bryant as a Cowboys fan.
Absolutely, yeah.
Against the Packers.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not one of those Cowboy fans that says they would have won that game because they had a horrific defense and still had to stop Aaron Rodgers. But, yeah, that was pretty bad.
I was going to say the Immaculate Reception as well.
No, that was – why would that have been called back?
Just because a lot of people – I saw a Reddit thread. It just says, like, the rule at the time, if an offensive player touched the pass, they had to be the one to catch it. It was an illegal play. So just saying, like, instant replay, if somebody on the offense had touched it and then Franco caught it, it would have been illegal.
Yeah, but I don't think the ball would have been ricocheting back off the offensive player. It was, there was a play like that when against the Cowboys in Super Bowl V with the Colts. But I still think Mel Renfro touched the ball. Tuck rule. Tuck rule,
yeah.
That was pretty horrendous.
Yeah, the Patriots dynasty maybe never starts.
Maybe not.
I'm sure it would have been fine.
He
won everywhere he went, so.
A really terrible. I know I'm a Cowboys fan, but that's the one that comes back to me. Mm-hmm. And really shouldn't even needed replay to see. That's just a.
Well, Sam in the comment also said there was a review for that and they still messed it up.
Yeah, they did. I'm sure there's something else that's obvious. It's just not coming to mind right now.
Here, I just asked our good friend Google AI and a couple of things it says here. The Fail Mary 2012 Monday Night Football game with the replacement refs when Golden Tate was awarded a game-winning Hail Mary touchdown against the Packers. Tate clearly committed pass interference, and it looks like MD Jennings appeared to secure the interception. The 2018 NFC Championship no call with 2 minutes left. Coleman levels receiver Tommy Lee Lewis with a blatant. I don't remember that play.
I remember a really.
Oh, here's one.
Okay.
OB, you're huge on this. Diego Maradona's hand of God in the 1986 World Cup.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that they let that goal stand. He obviously
punched the ball.
He obviously touched it.
He punched the ball. What else? Olympic baseball or basketball 72 final.
I wish Madonna
Soviets.
would have gotten married to Diego Maradona. So her name could have been Madonna Maradona.
Madonna Maradona?
Yeah.
Madonna Maradona.
Yeah.
I made him Italian.
Rosanna Dana. You don't have no idea who that is.
Rosanna Dan? Of course I do.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, of course I do. Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rosanna Dana.
Could you end the Go Hour by giving the sponsors in that kind of voice?
I forget which sponsors.
The Go Hours, presented by the Warehouse to CC Creations.
Rosanna Dana says the Go Hours brought to you by CNC Creations.
That now sounds like an Italian restaurant.
I went from Puerto Rican to Italian.
Yeah. Can I have a pizza with that, please?
Yeah, see. I don't know.
When we come back.
Billy Lucci.
When we come back, we're going to have John Harris. He does no voices. And we're back. It is TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Our good friends at Bryan Broadcasting are going to set the call John Harris, and we'll put him on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center as we tap dance for a couple minutes. Kayla Gaither, the rumor has it that your birthday is today.
It is today.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
You know, I heard Nick giving you advice, like keeping it down low. So it made me want to Google Nick's birthday and just announce it on the air today and just do a countdown every day until we get there.
We totally should do that. I would absolutely love that.
Because I love Nick and I don't want to upset him. I said I should Google it and find it. Buddy, I can find it. I know your mom's number. In fact, Mrs. Savage is probably thinking about texting the show right now to remind everybody what day his birthday is. And I think she's texted on your birthday before, so I can look that up in a few seconds. Anyway, let's get an up. Well, actually, John Harris is already waiting on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. So let's go to Johnny Harris to talk all things football as we talk to the professor and also the founder of footballtakeover.com and Houston Texans sideline reporter. Johnny, good morning, buddy.
Good morning, David. How you doing?
I'm good, man. What's going on in your world?
Just trying to navigate all this wet stuff that's coming from the sky.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad here the last, I don't know. I guess yesterday was kind of bad, and then overnight it was not good. Johnny, I got a question for you. Can you make an argument, and I don't know if you can, why a 2014 playoff would not devalue the regular season?
I don't. I mean, I guess, part of it depends on, how you perceive, conference championship games, how teams look at rivalries now. If you don't care about rivalries and you don't care about conference championship games and you are more, hey, the playoff is it, the playoff is the only thing, and probably if you're an NCAA basketball tournament fan, then I guess you would be like, yeah, I don't care about those things. I care about the playoff. Okay. I just don't know how many of those people there are out there, because that, to me, has been what college football is all about. The rivalries make the sport. The conference championship games have become ingrained in our system. I mean, SEC fans talk about going to Atlanta in early December in every single city that, there is an SEC school. I mean, they love taking that trip to Atlanta. I mean, I've been there for a few of them, and I remember going to 2012 when Alabama was playing Georgia. I mean, it was unbelievable. And I just wonder, and the thing is that game acted as a playing game to what at the time was a two-team BCS formula. And so Alabama wins, Georgia makes the last stand and slips at the goal line, and Alabama wins that game. They go and hammer Notre Dame, and Georgia's left at home going, well, damn, if they're a playoff, we could have gotten in there, we'd have won that championship. But there wasn't. That was two teams. I mean, that was 15 years ago. We just had two teams. Now all of a sudden we want to go to 24. I don't know. I mean, I said, and I've said this about a 2014 playoff. I think it should be special for you to go to a tournament or a playoff. That's why I hate 76 teams in basketball, and that's why I don't really care for 24 teams in football. I think 16 is stretching it. I like 12 because I feel like you should be rewarded for being one of the great teams in college football for the regular season with a bye. So I like that. But I'm not real sure that there is any argument that anybody really can make and say, oh, yeah, the regular season is not devalued if you go to 24. I mean, somebody, I think maybe Bill Barnwell or Bill Conley, I can't remember, was pointing out what games, I think he was using Alabama-Auburn, the 4th and 31 that Jalen Milroe hit Isaiah Bond that beat Auburn. That game, Alabama would have been in the playoff already. So would it really have mattered? Bryce Young going down the field against Auburn got them into the playoff that year. But they would have been in the playoff, so it wouldn't have mattered. So I feel like the rivalry games at some point turn into, you know what? Fortunately, it doesn't really matter. I'll give you a great example of it, David. 1992, this goes back a ways, but go with me. 1992, Steve Spurrier had been the head coach at Florida for 3 years. They went to Florida State. They were, at the time, I think they were 8-3 at the time. And they had a game against Florida State in Tallahassee. I've been there for this one. These teams do not like each other. If you think A&M and Texas don't like each other, Florida and Florida State do not like each other at all. But Florida was playing in the SEC championship game for the first time. It was the very first year of the SEC championship game. And Steve Spurrier waved the white towel, basically played his backups, put his starting quarterback on the bench in about the second quarter, and that became a JV match so that Florida could keep everybody healthy for the SEC championship the next week. And people were apoplectic. And Spurrier was like, well, you want to win a championship or you want to win a rivalry game? And it was at that point people were like, well, yeah, I want to win a championship. Florida State has stayed a great rivalry. But that year, Steve Spurrier just said, no, don't care. I want the championship. Now, they came close. They almost beat Alabama when Alabama ended up winning a national championship that year. But Steve Spurrier just said, yeah, this game doesn't matter. Now, would you like Mike Elko to go into a game against Texas and go, you know what, this game doesn't really matter? I think A&M fans would be pissed, honestly, no matter what it would be. So I think that's where the 2014 playoff really takes a hard turn for me, is you've got a lot of games that have been big games for 100+ years in college football, and they will not matter because at that point you would think one rivalry win over a national championship opportunity. I don't know how you equate those two. It's hard. But I know coaches would be like, no, I want the national championship opportunity because my job relies on that, seemingly. So I don't know. I don't know there's any case you can make for a regular season still being that relevant at 24 teams.
So if you could be the czar of college football, the commissioner of college football, what would John Harris' preferred postseason look like?
I'd leave it at 12. I like the 4 teams with a bye. Look, I don't know that I'm the biggest fan of conference championship games, especially the way that the conferences are put together now. Duke and Virginia played for the ACC championship game, and Duke won it, but didn't go to the playoff. So it's still a little janky with a conference championship game and all that, kind of the way the conferences are constructed. If I were the czar, I would come up with 8 geographically oriented 10-team conferences and have 12 teams go in, and I would have a combination. I would take pieces from the past. Like, I think the BCS formula is probably something to use. The polls, something to use, so that you've got a pretty accurate ranking. And then I take the top 12 teams, how they're ranked, and they go into the playoff. But I would try and bring back the geographic rivalries. I'd love to see, you'd want to stay in SEC, but, split the SEC up. Get a good 10-team, everybody plays everybody in the conference, 9-game schedule, 8 of those across the country. That's your FBS, 80 teams, and then 12 of them get in the playoff, the top 4 get a bye, and you rock on from there. I just think 24, I don't even know why you end up doing something of that magnitude. So that's the way I would end up going with it. And here's the thing, David. We've gone from 2 to 4 to 12 so fast that we really haven't had time to step back and go, hey, does this really work? Is this the right mode? We just have been, yep, next. Oh, nope, got to go to 16. Got to go to 85 teams. Like, dude, leave it at 12 for 5 years and see if that isn't the right formula or not. That's what bothers me. Because when we do something and we do it for a year, okay, well, what do we have to compare it to? Well, let's compare it to the next year and the next year. But instead, we've been in 12-team playoff, for 2 years now? and all of a sudden, oh, we've got all the information we need to double it and go to 24? I just think that's stupid.
We're talking to John Harris here on TexAgs Live. Johnny, do you think that because of the 9-game SEC schedule and the frustrations that the SEC has with the schedule imbalances out there, that you're going to see a lot less big matchups like we're going to get this year with Ohio State and Texas? Do you think those are going to go away because of the 9th SEC game?
Yep, absolutely. I think it's absolutely going to happen. And I think if you go to 24, it is definitely going to happen because you're going to have teams going, look, we can handle 2 SEC losses, but if we lose to an Ohio State, Texas fans wanted to throw that out there, oh, this is why we didn't make the playoff because we went to Ohio State. If we would have just played Ohio University, we would have been in the playoff. And it's like, yeah, I don't know about that. You didn't have to go to Georgia and get, skull beat against Georgia. So you didn't have to have that happen. So I think absolutely you'll have that go away. Now, the flip side people will say is, okay, well, you may not have those games, but you will have them in the playoff. So you're going to get them one way or the other. Like, yeah, okay, I guess. But I still don't know if I love that logic. But I do think that teams are like, yeah, man, just give me the 10-2. If I'm in the SEC and I'm 10-2, I'm in 24 teams. So I think those games will go away. And that will stink as well because you can think over the years of, really great matchups. And look, I know A&M fans want to win a game. But, when A&M played Miami, when A&M played Notre Dame, they got to win last year. A&M beats Notre Dame. And look, I'll be honest, that was the feather in the cap for Notre Dame or for A&M last year. For their resume, when they put their resume together, it's like, hey, we beat Notre Dame on the road. Bang. That's the first bullet point. So I don't think they should go away, but I think they're going to, especially if you go to 24 and with a 9-game schedule, because you know as well as I do, David, it's a gauntlet with 9 teams or 9 games in the SEC. So from that standpoint, yeah, I think why are we going to mess with, playing Ohio State? Why are we going to mess with playing Oregon? Let's satisfy our contracts. In some cases, teams are breaking contracts and saying, yeah, we'll play, Holy Trinity Tech, and we'll get our win. And the record, people will look at the things we did in the SEC, and they won't look at the fact that we beat, Assumption University to go get a win.
Talking to John Harris here on TexAgs Live. Johnny, did you see this Iowa State AD who said that Jamie Pollard, go ahead, SEC and Big Ten, you want to leave? No problem. You guys can have your little 20-team league. We'll be just fine without you. Did you see that?
I did. In fact, Mark Vandermeer texted that to me, and I chuckled. I'm like, look, it's always funny to me because, I put it this way. It's always the third or fourth guy off the bus that's talking trash behind the first 2 guys getting on the bus or getting off the bus, and it's like, look, if you didn't have the SEC and you didn't have the Big Ten in a playoff, people are going to watch, but people are going to be like, yeah, whatever. My comment back to Mark when he said it was like, nah, look, the SEC and Big Ten be just fine, the 2 of them. That's fine. But, people will pay attention because it's on the TV screen and we all love football. But for the most part, if you went head-to-head with the SEC and the Big Ten on your own, and you're the Big 12. Look, what's the Big 12's record in what's the Big 12's record in the playoff the last, how many ever years? No offense, but if it wasn't Texas, what has the Big 12 done? Texas Tech got a bye, and then Oregon went and spanked them down in Miami. They got 1 team in. So the ACC couldn't even get their champion in the game, in the playoffs. So, I understand he's standing up for his contract or for his conference. And Brett Yormark is a really good marketer. And I know they probably feel very buoyed by that. But Yormark's doing the best with what he's got. and he doesn't have what the SEC and the Big Ten have. So from that standpoint, he can, talk his trash about, whatever. And if he wants to use, say, softball, I mean, the best softball is being played by Texas, Oklahoma, A&M, et cetera. I mean, I'll give you the fact UCLA is good. Big Ten, sorry. Texas Tech is very good. But again, Texas Tech is holding up the entire Big 12, ACC, et cetera, because of Cody Campbell's money. So from that standpoint, he can kind of miss me with all that.
That is John Harris, footballtakeover.com, and Houston Texans sideline reporter. Johnny, appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, man. Love you, bro. See you soon. Bye.
It's my brother, John Harris, there on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. We'll come back. Pat Henry isn't going to be in the building. I think he's already here. If not, he'll be here in a second. Chit-chat about the SECs last week and look ahead at the NCAAs. Right now, I had John Harris on the show. I worked with John Harris at 1560. I worked with John Harris at Sporting News Radio, at Yahoo Sports Radio. And, of course, I worked with him for years covering the Texans as he was a sideline reporter. And also I was with a TV station in town. But that wouldn't have happened without Chance McClain, who hired both of us at the same time in 2007. So he started a great friendship. And Chance is a dear friend, and Chance has Heritage Films. Long way of doing a Heritage film in a live spot. But basically, that's the genesis of the relationship with Johnny. It started with Chance, and Chance has this company that does documentaries. And these documentaries are 2-hour documentaries about normal families, normal family businesses, family ranches, whatever it may be. Let Chance and his team do a 2-hour documentary that I think is going to be so powerful for your family so that you guys can watch together. But really the future versions of the Nuño family, the Harris family, whatever it may be, the Gaither family, they'll be able to really know the genesis of your family, what your operation was built on, and all the entire foundation. Check out the website, yourheritagefilm.com. That is yourheritagefilm.com, or call Chance up at 713-893-8341, 713-893-8341. It is Heritage Films. We're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Time for our weekly conversation with Pat Henry. And from running shoes to Aggie pajamas, this Aggie family's got you covered. Visit the Brazos Running Company in Century Square. Shop Mason Hay at masonhay.com. Coach, how are you, sir? What is this?
Good.
Uh-oh, the Lone Star Grand Prix.
That's just one of the releases.
Yeah, Lone Star Grand Prix. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians up close at the inaugural USATF Lone Star Grand Prix, presented by 44 Farms. Again, that date is early June, right? June 6th?
June 6th.
June 6th. There we go.
The thing about that meet is it's approved by, we're being allowed to host that thing here by World Athletics. There's only been 2 gold meets in the history on American soil. We have one of them, and the other one's being run in Los Angeles. So it's a big deal. It'll be on NBC Sports for 2.5 hours.
But if you're here, you need to go see that.
Yeah, on that Saturday, it's live for 2.5 hours, starting at 2 o'clock. So it's in prime time, and they are showing it. Of course, it goes through their affiliates all through Europe. So it's a great thing for Texas A&M. Texas A&M will be able to showcase who we are and what we do, and so it'll be good.
What a great last couple of years to showcase this community to the world, with the soccer match coming up here soon. The soccer match a couple years ago, George Strait. The Bananas were just here. This amazing event. It's been cool for A&M and for College Station and A&M to be out there in front of everybody.
Well, I think it's just branding. It's just really helping with our brand all over the world, and things like this meet are really good for that kind of thing. So this brings many of our Olympians here.
Well, can I read some of the names that you have highlighted?
Yeah,
You got them? Connor Schulman's on there. I guess you got it right there.
Sam Whitmarsh, Bryce Dedman, James Smith, Shamir Little, Jacob Wooten are some of our ex-Aggies that are pros that are still competing that will be back. So we have good people in the short hurdles, the 800, the 400, the intermediate hurdles, the pole vault. So there's a spread out of some Aggies in this whole thing. They only bring in about 8 people to 10 people per event. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's all run in two. So it's all 100 meters, one time, men. 1 times women, 100 meters. And we don't run all events. So it's a short 2-hour window. And it'll be fun for our people to see Olympic caliber people here in town that are going to be vying to make our Olympic team.
So, by the way, general admission tickets available now for as low as $15, with reserve seating available for $30. Pre-sale tickets available until May 31st. So you better jump on that this week. Week of event ticket prices do begin on June 1st. So you've got 11 days to get this done.
Yep.
At the pre-sale price.
Yeah.
Let's look at last week's SEC championships.
Yep.
What was your takeaway?
I'm never happy when we get beat. We got beat, but our people did a good job. I was pleased with what we did. We just ran out of bullets. Arkansas just had more bullets, and on the men's side, and they always have at this meet, but. If you look at what happens in the next one, that makes the difference.
Mm-hmm.
This is an advances to the NCAA championships, and that's the most important thing when you get out of the conference meet. In fact, there's a lot of schools now in the conference. It is a good showing of track. Kind of shows strength of the conference, first of all, but also the weakness of the conference in every sport. There are weaknesses throughout it, but the SEC in track and field probably has 10 of the top 15 schools.
Right.
We are the most competitive conference there is.
Well, with your performance, though, you did help win the Lone Star Showdown over Texas. So how much pride do you take? Because if I remember the numbers correctly, half the points came from cross country and track and field.
Yeah. I didn't really know that when we got into the scoring of how they score all that stuff. But yeah, every time you beat those guys, it's good.
Yeah.
And we beat them on both sides. So from that standpoint, yeah, that was good for us. But it's still in the framework of the entire championships. We had some pretty frank discussions afterwards, but I'm really pleased with our freshman class that we still recruit great ones out of high school. Mm-hmm. I'm not relying on the portal. I'll get a couple people out of the portal. Our javelin thrower is out of the portal, and he threw it a long ways. I mean, so we're going to pick up some people out of the portal. But I'm really happy with our freshmen. We recruited a lot of freshmen, and we have a good freshman class coming in this next year. I want those young people that want to be at Texas A&M for 4 years. I think it's important. I think those people are going to be the base of your program, especially moving forward. Because you have to have that group that cares about what we were doing as a program and as an institution. Those people are in your program. Those are your leadership. That's where your leadership comes from. Somebody coming in here for 1 year, that's great. It's good for that kid. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be a great Aggie. I want people who want to be a great Aggie. I want people leaving here that have been here for 4 years or 5 years, whatever it takes to get through, and are Aggies.
What are some things you want to clean up before the NCAAs?
We actually left the meet relatively healthy, but we didn't enter the meet healthy. We left both our heptathlete and decathlete at home because they were hurt, and I don't think we're getting our heptathlete back. Our decathlete, I think we're going to get back this next week. There's some other people that we left at home that are contributors, but you can't worry about that. They're not contributors. They didn't help. They were hurt. Now, staying healthy is part of what athletics is all about. So we move into this next one. We go to Arkansas.
Of course.
Yeah, it's either here or Arkansas, the West Regionals. Mm-hmm. This year they're hosting it, and we go there, and there's 48 in each event. There's going to be 48 guys running 100 meters, 48 women, and it'll whittle down to 12. 12 will leave and advance to the NCAA championship. So then 12 out of the West, 12 out of the East, 24 at the national championships, gets down to the final there. So that's the challenge right now. And it is a huge challenge sometimes it's more difficult for your great ones to advance through something like this than it is somebody that's working hard to try to just be in the 12.
Right. 9 medals at the SECs. From an individual standpoint, how did you feel about their performances?
Yeah, that's what I'm pleased with.
Yeah.
Because to win the next meet, to be the national champions, you have to have individuals that step up and that are great. Sometimes in a conference meet, you're going to win by having 4th, 5th, and 6th place efforts. Those people are going to be very difficult to advance to the national championship. Winners of the SEC in every event have a great opportunity to advance or fail at this meet this week. That's part of the issue next week. So it's a big track meet, and we got to go in there with the intention of advancing as many people as we can, but advancing those people who are really good out of our program.
How about Zaza's performance?
Yeah, he's going to be one that will go down in the record books here. He's a javelin thrower. He beat everybody pretty good this week, and he's going to throw. Additionally, I think he's going to throw further.
And then Cameron Dixon was in the studio a couple weeks ago on the day of her graduation, by the way. or I think it was the day of her graduation. Anyway, the 200, the 100, the 4x100. She's doing what Cam
4x4.
does.
Yeah, Cameron. She was in 4 events. Cam is and ran the fastest she's ever run on a 4x4. We had one young lady, Lacavia Cooper, run under 50 seconds. Her split on the 4x4, which is just tremendous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dropping your sound system.
All good. Billy does it twice a show.
And the cameraman ran 50 point. So she's continuing to get better at 400 meters as well. But she's running a great 100 and she's running a great 200. So she's great to have on our group.
As long as I've known you, you've always talked about, the SECs are sometimes harder than the NCAAs.
Yeah.
But also, you just got to be at your best at that last meet, and everything is leading up to it. So as we get closer, just how are you feeling about things, the way they're trending, especially with your health getting better?
Yeah, the SECs is one where you've got to have, where Arkansas beats us is on depth. Mm-hmm. They come in with a lot more, you can only compete 30 men, 30 women can compete at the SEC. But you do have the ability to have a better 30 than the next 30, the team at the next. They have a better 30 right now. Not all the time. We beat them. But right now they have a better 30. But that doesn't help advancing on to the next meet. What helps is your elites. Your elites had better get through this meet.
Being elite.
Yeah. The elite athletes are the ones you got to get. Because the NCAA it's the best track meet in the world. There's no meet like the NCAA championships around the world.
That is a great Pat Henry, brought to you by our good friends at the Brazos Running Company. Coach Henry, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon, sir.
Thanks for saying something about the 44 Farms Lone Star, because 44 Farms has stepped up and is helping us do this. It's really great. Those people are really great, and I think it's one of those things that comes to College Station that's never ever been here before. It's never been on American soil before. That we can say we did that here, and you're going to see somebody that runs at the Olympic Games that you would never ever get to see.
Well, we have a lot to talk about this summer.
Yeah.
We've got the NCAAs, and we have this to look forward to as well. Thank you, Coach Henry.
Thank you.
Way to break. A little softball on the other side. Kay Naegeli joining me here in studio. You're listening to TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggie Land since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls. Reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com, and your favorites are on their way. A softball segment. Kay Naegeli is in here, and we talked a lot about it the other day in the office. You and I were by the staircase discussing it, and makes sense of what happened because from afar, it looks like A&M ran into a very hot team, and that feels like an isolated incident. Tell me if I'm right here as the why. But then when you have 2 years of it happening, is there a bigger problem? So I guess I gave you a lot to chew on there.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously having a couple days removed from the situation, every fan and things are quick to jump on results right when they happen. And even I can be guilty of that. So I think being a couple days removed from it, when you look at the totality of the season, if you would have told me at the beginning of the year that they would finish 6th in the SEC, which is where they were projected to finish, host, I would have been like, okay, that's a good year for this team, because I really considered that a rebuilding year for Trisha Ford. Unfortunately, it did come at the expense of losing in your own regional again. And Arizona State is such a hot team right now, and I'm really interested to see what they do this weekend at Texas. Like, I think they're going to give them a little bit of a fit. I'm really interested to see that. Who knows? So yeah, but whenever you do look at it, if you would have told me just looking at this season, I would have been like, okay, like I'm not mad at that. That's somewhat expected. The thing is whenever it does happen in back-to-back seasons, that's where the criticism gets louder, right? I think you could label last year as an outlier, but whenever it does happen again, that's when everyone's like, oh, can this staff win a big game? Can they win in a regional? Those, of course, become questions, but again, they did run into a really, really hot team. I do think last year was more of an outlier than this year. This season, it was just a very good Arizona State team that came in here and got them. So.
Yep. So everybody's rooting for Arizona State this weekend, right? For multiple reasons. I'm a people person, so I like Trisha Ford. I think she's awesome. I think she's got the program going in the right direction. But I think it is important. This is a very important offseason for her. What do you? Sure. And I'm assuming she was working the phones all week, because the portal's open, right?
So the portal it actually opens later this year.
Oh, later this year.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, there's already people kind of entering their names, but it doesn't officially open until June 8th, I believe, is the exact date. Okay. So it actually.
So now the whispers are out there.
Yes. It also gives them an opportunity to kind of, see what whispers are out there, kind of see what direction they can go.
What we need to fix,
exactly.
Right?
They can look at their roster and say, what do we have? Also, there's been a lot of talk about NIL and how all this plays into this. So look at each player and what's your return on investment? Because at the end of the day, that's what it's coming down to, right? I'm sure Texas Tech wasn't real happy when they lost with their $1 million roster in the Big 12 tournament to Arizona State. Right. And all these donors have paid so much money to have this be a great roster just for Arizona State.
We forget about that in the A&M game, right? Or the A&M series, the regional, right? We forget that just happened.
Exactly. So I think return on investment is going to be a big piece to seeing. I would say A&M had some players that exceeded that, what their, projected. Michaela Work, for example, had an amazing year.
Sure, she did.
And I don't know if they kind of took a risk on her. She had several knee injuries coming in, and she hit 20 home runs this year. I don't know.
Huge risk.
They necessarily expected that.
Excuse me, not a huge risk, a huge reward, I should say.
For sure. So I think that's going to be important, is finding those players that you're like, okay, if this is what we expect out of them, that's what we're going to get. Obviously, pitching was a big point of emphasis, and I do agree, but you also can't score 3 and 1 run in a regional against Arizona State. So the offense has to be consistent and has to show up when it matters most.
Yeah, that was the surprise. What was it in the last game when the 3-4-5 over 10 or something?
It was 1, 2, 3, 4 were over 10.
Yeah.
So, and that includes the great All-American Maya Perez. She was 0 for 9 or 1 for 9 this weekend, I believe, and throughout the regular season, she was walked so much, so she almost didn't get the chance to swing her bat. So I don't know, necessarily what happened there. All I know is she is an All-American. She's a great player for A&M. She had an on-base streak of 59 games. She was very consistent. It's just getting that consistency piece to matter when the lights are the brightest.
At some point, we're going to have Coach Ford in studio to chat about the season, hopefully soon. And the hard part is, because it's still going on, like reflecting on what you said earlier, I think is exactly right. Like if you just told me that was what their season was going to look like, not the finish, but I've been like, that's a pretty good year considering what they lost and what it was going to look like. But again, like we do in football, like we do in everything, we look at the final part.
For sure. And especially with the pitching too, everyone's like, oh, you need an ace. And we definitely saw that with Kenzie Brown. But to get through the regular season, you need more than that. And Arizona State's number 2 arm too was pretty good all year. She obviously had a couple of rough spots against A&M, but they were able to go to her and win games whenever they didn't have to go to Kenzie Brown. So yes, I do think you need an ace. And I also talked about this a little bit with Sydney Peters, Sydney Lessentine. They have been good for you. They've both run into injury problems late in the season. So if you are like going based off of, I can't, necessarily go to one of them at the end of the season, you definitely have to have that third arm that you're like, okay, I know I can rely on them. And this day and age too, the game has become so offensive. It's crazy. I know Trisha Ford has talked about it a lot. She's talked a lot about how there's a kind of a pitching staff approach now in softball, more so than an ace. You look at Texas Tech, again, for example. They had Kennedy last year, and they went and got another great arm in Caitlin Terry. She's also a utility player, and she was incredible all year long. But that took a pretty penny to pull her to Lubbock. So, yeah, I'm really interested to see what they get in the portal. They will have 6 seniors leaving. So how they go about kind of constructing the roster will be very important this offseason, but they do kind of get a jump start on it just to see exactly. They will have meetings this week with players and decide directions of things. And in this day and age, when there's always teams with portal exits, so that's probably to be expected.
I am not privy to what budgets are and what NIL budgets should be, but in my heart, what I want is every sport that A&M competes in, they are spending like the top 10 programs are spending in that sport. If we're being, in today's world, that's unfortunately what it's going to take.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that looks like for softball. I don't know what it looks like for women's tennis. I don't know what it looks like for anybody. I just, that's in my heart what I want. What do you think the roster looks like next year? I know you can't speculate on names yet because the portal isn't open.
Yeah.
But like, what are some returners?
Yeah. Well, I think it all starts with Maya Perez, right? She's been a cornerstone of your program, and me and Kayla Gaither kind of talked about it postgame. Her career has been built on heartbreak. Her freshman year, she has the Austin Super Regional that they lose all by 1-run games. And then you have last year, and then you have this year. And it's just like, you really are like, man, can she, get some wins in the postseason? So obviously built around Maya Perez as well as Sydney Peters, Sydney Lessentine. I think those two are really important. You also have a class of 7 freshmen coming in. 7. So they're going to be a young team. They had a lot of sophomores on this roster. You will have 7 freshmen coming in. I think it's very important that you go for those veterans in the portal.
Gaither, I'm going to ask you some softball on the other side, all right? All right, because you did cover them all season long. Right now, if you're looking for real peace of mind when it comes to your money, check out Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. They're an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas. No sales commissions, no pitches, just honest financial planning and investment management are what really sets them apart. See over 9 CFPs, the CFA, and the CPA all on staff. They take their credentials seriously, and they work tirelessly to help build you a future that you can feel really good about. Go to paragon-adv.com or give them a call, 979-693-3907 to schedule your free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors, integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors. Nygren, Gaither, do not use the internet. Who sings The Love Shack?
Oh, gosh.
Right now, that's playing that nobody on YouTube can hear. Come on. You got 5 seconds. 4, 3. If I give you a letter or a number, would you be able to figure it out?
Give me a letter.
B.
The Bee Gees?
No.
No.
Come on, Nygren, do it.
B-52s.
Who told you? Was it Zane?
Someone from the back.
Yeah. There's a joke there.
My parents are going to kill me for that.
Yeah, the B-52s. They had more than one good song, by the way, but that song gets played at every wedding and sorority party ever. Anyway, not that I've been to a sorority party in 30 years. I hope not. That'd be weird. Gaither. Okay, what is your takeaway? So your first year covering the softball team, and I know it was a magical year for you. You really grew as a reporter, and you loved the beat. What do you think happened?
So, like you were saying, it was a really great year for me. I learned so much just in my first year reporting. I think looking at this team as a whole, Kay is right. If you just take this season just as it is without looking at last year, this was a good season for A&M. They came in wanting to rebuild, losing their ace pitcher lefty, Emily Kennedy, and I think, being projected to finish 6th in the SEC, they were right on the mark. And I think people are kind of, reactionary and just very fast to have an opinion, which fair, like Kay was saying, we all have our moments. But I do think there's a lot of experience now that these players have had. A lot of the roster is built of seniors and sophomores. The seniors are leaving. The sophomores are coming in with even more experience. Maya Perez as well, we were saying she has a season built on heartbreak yet again, but she is still a second-team All-American, even in the last part of the season, maybe not getting very good at bats, but she slashed .414. She had a .602 on-base percentage, which was 4th nationally, and she slugged .893, which is 25th nationally. So there's a lot of experience on this team, and there's a lot of newbies coming in. So I think Coach Ford it's going to be a better season next year, I believe, because there's just so much that's going to happen with this roster.
Happy medium Nuño. This is what I do sometimes. It ain't good enough. I don't need to jump off a cliff, right? They got to be better. They know it, just like Marcel. Got to be better. It ain't that bad. It ain't that good. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Nuñoism for you. All right, we'll hit a break. When we come back, somebody who probably had a barbecue this past weekend, followed recruits all around the world, Jason Howell coming up on the program. He loves the B-52s. In fact, he's listening to them now. It's TexAgs Live. Good morning. Now this is a song. Do you know it? Oh, yeah. All right. Mr. West. And I'm sure Jason Howell right now is just eating at himself. Well, that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? He just hates the music. We go to the Bumpy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. The man who always smiles, Jason Howell, is recruiting country and is brought to you by our good friends at American Momentum Bank, the only privately owned bank headquartered in Bryan College Station. They're committed to helping our community prosper by offering you a wide array of personal and business banking solutions specifically designed to help build financial success with confidence and momentum on your side. There he is, Jason Howell on the Bumpy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Jason, how are you, buddy?
I'm fantastic, man. I'm fantastic. I come in, I hear you talking about some B-52s, I heard you talking earlier about Yellowstone. Got to watch Dutton Ranch myself.
What'd you think?
I like it. I like it. I've been a fan of Yellowstone. Most of, Taylor Sheridan stuff I like. I watched the Tulsa King. I'm definitely going to be watching Frisco King with Samuel Jackson.
I think I'm out. I think I'm not watching that one. I think I'm out.
It was fun when he came in and kind of at the end of Tulsa King.
Don't tell me. I haven't watched the So I watched season 1.5 of Tulsa King.
Yeah.
And I kind of like it. It's so corny though.
It is. I get it if you're out on it, but
Mayor of Kingstown, yes or no?
Yeah. I liked Mayor of Kingstown.
I haven't watched that one yet, but I've been told I got to watch that. The Madison.
And I heard you talking about the Madison. We love the Madison.
Yeah, I like it.
It's not Yellowstone. It's a whole different deal, but it is a really good show if you're looking for something else to add to your ever-growing watch list.
What about Marshalls? The Marshalls, whatever it's called.
It's got some hokey stuff.
That show sucks.
It can be real corny, but there's we made it through. We've made it through, and I don't know. I guess we're better for it. But,
no, you're not. You're worse for sticking through that. It just shows you don't know how to watch television. Here's the last thing on TV I'll say. This is my philosophy. Any network show, I'm out. Because they dumb it down. Okay. They do it for like it's an infomercial / like a mall. Like everything's here. Like they build on the storyline. But it's also like if you watch one episode, the first episode or the third episode or the fifth episode, you don't really have to watch the ones before completely, right? Like it's just nicely done. And I feel like on Paramount, Netflix, Amazon, you have to it's like a real story. It's written well. Like I'm out on network TV.
I'll be honest. I'll throw on like Abbott Elementary or something just to have in the background.
Never.
Because you cannot watch Netflix. There are some shows you just can't do that. You have to engage and lock in. And those are mindless, whatever. You get your laugh here or there. But if you're looking for a show and you haven't, Paradise on Hulu, Disney Plus, whatever.
Like a bunch of dating people?
No.
Okay,
This is not a dating show. This is not
I'm out if it is.
Show.
Okay.
No, this is it's about kind of apocalyptic kind of situation and a bunker and just all kinds of stuff and the world that revolves around it. I'm not a post-apocalyptic guy. I'm not a big sci-fi guy, but this roped me in. Great story. Good, really good, people and characters, and we love that, and it, like I said, it built on each episode. There were twists, but they weren't okay, I'm out. This jumped the shark kind of twists. So it was enough to keep you really engaged and paying attention. So Paradise.
All right, I got you.
Anyways, we probably need to move on.
Yeah, we got to move on. But I am totally judging you on referencing Abbott Elementary. I don't think anybody, I don't even think the cast watched that show. I don't think the parents of the cast have ever watched that show. That That is, you could have pulled anything but that. But you said,
hey, man.
Do you know anybody who's watched Abbott Elementary?
I can't name a person that watches Abbott
Sorry.
Elementary.
I don't even know a person on that show.
Yeah.
I've seen a commercial.
Just like I said, it's not something you have to lock in and fully engage on.
All right. So we're going to have to go long here because we owe the audience 5 minutes and 36 seconds of what we just did. So we're going to move on to Mark Matthews.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? We're going to go long. Kendall Rogers, we're pushing you back. So Mark Matthews, I think, so I was at lunch with Billy when it was happening, right before it happened, and he felt good. He felt the intel was moving in the right direction. Why do you think ultimately Mark Matthews picked A&M over Miami?
There are so many factors. There really are. I think the development played a huge role. Adam Cushing, the plan they put together, the way they showed him, okay, this is how we get you from A, B to C to the NFL, kind of situation. And these are the, guys we can point to and say, this is how we've done it in the past, and this is how we're currently doing it with the guys on our roster and things like that. That definitely played a role. He loved the 12th man. He fell in love with the atmosphere at Cal Field. He fell in love with the culture that Coach Elko and the staff were building in that locker room. And I think all of that really combined, we'd been hearing he's kind of a head down, go to work kind of guy. That's his mentality. And I think A&M, he saw a lot of that at A&M in him, in himself. It was a real natural fit, even with the South Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Mario Cristobal O-line connection there, and there was a lot of South Florida flavor in College Station on the coaching staff, and he connected well with a lot of the recruits at the different events. He was at the Under Armour game. He was at the Polynesian Bowl. What A&M's building right now is special, and it's not just an NIL play. I know that's the easy point to, hey, these guys are, A&M definitely can step up to the table in that regard, but it's much bigger than that. And A&M put together a total package, and all I got to say is that announcement is going to go down. That's going to be an announcement we're talking about for years. I don't know. Did you get a chance to watch it?
I did. I mean, I was told about it. Then I watched it. I was like, oh, okay. Put on a show.
Yeah. He's going to be, he's been vilified in South Beach, and for obvious reason. I can only imagine if a kid from Houston would have picked, another school and done that to A&M or Texas, that there would be some fans that would push back, but at the end of the day, it was good fun, and if you're an A&M fan, you gotta love it. Yeah. I mean, he was so overjoyed, he was so excited, and I don't think he really meant any disrespect necessarily, but in the moment, it was just everything. And it came together, and you saw him jump up on that chair and put on his hat and, the jersey, and my goodness, it was something to behold. That is the kind of, just excitement that we're seeing across the country from top prospects, taking a look at A&M, it is a real thing that's building there, and it's that culture. It's Elko. It's what these guys see as the future at A&M, and Elko era is in full effect.
Jason, I call what happened with Mark and Matthews and the response to it the Draymond Green effect, or the Pat Beverly effect, or the Ron Artest effect. I'm only picking NBA guys because it's easier to be a villain in that world.
Picking some very big villains.
Yeah, by the way, I love all three of those guys. If that tells you anything about me, I love them. But when they're on your team, you love it, right? When your team does something hokey on the internet, when Brian Kelly was doing the little dance, I don't even know, the Batman dance, the Adam West dance, I'm sure LSU fans, some were embarrassed, but for the most part, they're like, yeah, this guy's great. He gets us. This is what we do in Baton Rouge. We dance like Batman and Adam West.
I don't know. You'd have to. OB may have a better understanding of this, but I could tell you, I didn't.
You see what I'm saying, though? Like,
if, I know what
it's
you
your
mean.
perspective. Like, you like, oh, that wasn't a foul. No, you see things through your perspective only. So that's the natural reaction from the Miami fans. As maybe A&M fans would have done the same thing had he picked Miami. Oh, I can't believe he's doing that. But when he does it for your team, you love it.
Yeah.
I do want to go back to something, though. Adam Cushing, his ability to develop, his ability to connect, his ability to recruit. Boom.
Well, absolutely. He is that whole group. There's a group of them there in that O-line room that they do just a phenomenal job. Coach Mackey, Coach Wiz, Coach Cushing, all three. They do a great job of when they are always coaching. I remember talking to several guys, over the years. I've since Adam Cushing's been at A&M, a lot of what he does is just like, hey, we broke down your tape. Let's walk through it. Let's talk about things that you're killing at. Let's talk about some things you can do better at, and let's talk about some ways and some techniques that I can show you to help you get there. And you talk to these guys after they come into the meeting rooms on visits and during the spring and official visits and everything, and how they teach and relate. And it's like if Coach Cushing can't communicate it in a way that you're grasping, hey, guess what? We got these. We're going to try something else here with these other guys. And they do a good job of figuring out ways to communicate their techniques, their processes, what they're wanting to see happen with the offensive line, and get it done in a variety of ways. We saw it with the defensive line when guys came in. Guys are constantly getting reps because there's only so many coaches per player, right? And the same thing with the offensive line. You're seeing these guys, there's no downtime. They're just constantly working when it's time to practice. And they do a phenomenal job of showing that, and you've seen it pay off. The 4 offensive linemen that got selected in the NFL draft this year was right on time for Mark Matthews. And the ability to point back and say, well, we've also had these guys come through our system. And but at A&M, all those guys were multiple year invested in the program guys, and 3 of them signed directly out of high school. And it's one of those things that really has resonated with a number of prospects. And I know specifically on the offensive line, Adam Cushing and that whole crew, they do a phenomenal job of pointing out the plan, showing it, and then investing in a kid before they even get them on campus.
By the way, I'm just quick 5-second disclaimer. Brad and Brian disappointed in my commentary. He says, Abbott Elementary is the biggest sitcom on right now. It's elite comedy. The disrespect. If a tree falls in the woods. Sorry, didn't know. Anyway, we move on. I'm sure it's great. Apparently everybody's talking about it except anybody in Texas. I want to go back to your article that you wrote and some of the wins Coach Elko has had and his staff, right? I know it's a team effort, collaborative effort, but we've had some wins, man. And you listed some of the bigger wins here over the last couple of years, and hopefully we keep adding to that list. You kind of want to go over some of those names just to remind folks at the level that Coach Elko is recruiting at.
Yeah, and I'll add a little bit more here. I want it like Mark Matthews. It wasn't just that he was the number 1 overall offensive tackle prospect in the country. It wasn't just that you beat Miami for a South Beach kid. It wasn't just it was a number of things that made this a big win. It wasn't just the ranking or the position, or it was all of it kind of coming together to make it just a massive, like, oh my goodness, this was a guy that people just assumed was going to go to Miami. And, when it comes down to it, you can't do that in life or recruiting. And, Mark made his own decision for a number of very, very good reasons. He made his own choice on his own factors, and when he weighed out the pros and cons, A&M came out the victor there. And I think the fact that when he made that decision, it was such a rubber stamped kind of thing, especially early on, that he was going to be a Cane. And, that just wasn't the case. And for a lot of these guys, like I took us back, Terry Bussey was the first one I mentioned. And it's because, man, it just set the tone for Texas A&M recruiting under Mike Elko. He was a guy that when they got to campus, they're focused on signing that class and then hitting the portal. And they had and roster retention. They had, I don't know, it seemed like they had about 30 billion, balls they're trying to juggle. And Terry Bussey was one of those guys at the very tip top of that list of you have to make this happen. We have to get this guy on campus. And not just because of the talent he was, but just the message it would send, an in-state 5-star prospect over LSU, who had emerged as like the top contender, and you make it happen at the end in February, and you keep him home, and then Lamont Rogers in the next class. You had those 3 offensive tackles. Everybody was gunning for one of those 3 guys. It was a top priority position. Offensive tackle was always going to be a priority position, but I think it was definitely a priority position for A&M at that time. And it was another chance to send a message, especially in state. And when he committed to Missouri in July, it could have been all over, and people could have thrown a fit and said, "You know what, we're done." But that's a case where they showed they can play the long game, and having him in town when A&M put it on Missouri, I think it was 11 a.m. kickoff, and it was just a all around butt whipping, and he was there to witness that. Not saying that made the difference, but it definitely helped. And he made multiple visits during the season. There was a lot of smoke there, but that was an all-around effort. Coach Cushing, Trooper Taylor, everybody in the program stepped up to bat there. And, with a lot of these, you do see, like, Derek Miller, the whole recruiting staff, they deserve a lot of credit. Matt Salvaggio, I know several of the analysts, and you could go down the list, but they do a phenomenal job of combining their resources and their efforts. Tony Girardetti, Trooper Taylor, they all had connections with the staffs at a lot of these schools, and you see it all kind of come together and to push things across the finish line, and that was one where you needed to get one of those big guys, and Lamont was somebody I know A&M targeted very early on, prioritized from the very beginning of that class, and they stayed with it to reel him in December. And then you see a guy, I mentioned Brandon Arrington, who and Jerome Miles from out west. You saw both of those guys, become high priority prospects throughout the recruiting process. Brandon has always been a vocal leader. I want to, that was something that really helped spur that June, July run last year when he was in the boat. And at the time that he committed, he was the 5-star that everybody wanted. He was that guy. He was well established on the recruiting radar, where, not to diminish some of the other big gets, but he was a guy that was already just firmly planted as a future stud in the eyes of everyone. And when he committed, it turned some heads, especially when you have USC and Oregon involved there with Arrington. And then you flip Jerome Miles late after they, flip Hassan Longstreet and kind of alter some things in that 25 class that sent A&M having to do some work there late, but reeling Jerome Miles in sure helped ease those pains, and especially a nice little punch back for the Trojans. So, but over the years, we've seen it a number of times. KJ Edwards, the surprise there, Noah McHale. People forget, man. Noah McHale was one of the top linebackers in the country and one of the top prospects in all of California. And when he picked A&M over USC and Oregon, it was a huge, huge deal. So DJ Sanders, this year in state, Kennedy Brown, and Jaquan Snell. There are a number of them that have gone down. But yeah, I wanted to try and do something that wasn't just about the ranking. It was about the timing, what it showed about the staff, and just the way they recruit and how sometimes they're able to push things across the finish line sometimes. And they've done it at an elite level. They're doing it at what they're doing this cycle can't be undersold. They're flat out killing it out there. And they've positioned themselves with a ton of 5-star national top 100 priority prospects, guys they've targeted for a long time. And, that's a huge, huge thing as we come down to official visit season next weekend. We're going to be talking about official visits. We're going to be talking about them for the next 3 weekends. And you're going to see a lot of commitments start to take place. A&M's got 14 right now, and there's going to be a few more coming down the pipe over the next few weeks.
All right, we will hit a break. We'll come back on TexAgs Live. Ground Shuttle offers frequent and reliable shuttles from Bryan College Station to George Bush Intercontinental Airport. You can commute it in luxury and in style when you go on a ground shuttle lounge. It is amazing. You can catch up on work emails. You can read a book while your shuttle driver takes care of all the driving. It'll get you to the airport, though, with no problems with the traffic that you don't want to deal with on the Beltway. No traffic around the airport. And, of course, you never know if you're going to find a good parking spot because that place is jacked. All the construction they're doing there makes it very difficult. They have 9 shuttle times on weekdays every hour and a half and 5 shuttle times on the weekends. Great for business travelers and commuters. And you can book any vehicle in their fleet to accommodate your group size if you want their charter service. Very easy to book online. Just go to groundshuttle.com. That's groundshuttle.com, or call them up, 855-303-4415. Ground Shuttle. Let them do the driving. All right, we did go long on that last segment, so I mean, my goodness. It's TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio, and this is brought to you by American Momentum Bank. We got Jason Howell on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. All right, Jason, we're going to kind of speed through these.
Yep.
What's next at O-line and the 5 stars potentially to come? Can you start us off with that?
Yeah, I'll zip right through this right now. Jordan Agbanoma out of Georgia, Ismail Kamara, 5-star out of Gilmer, and Albert Simeon, 5-star out of Louisiana. 3 to watch on the offensive line. All 3 of them will be taking official visits in the next few weeks. And we'll be talking a lot about those guys. 5 stars to watch. Eric McFarland, receiver out of IMG. The 2 old linemen I just mentioned there, Kamara Simeon. Keeping an eye on Jaden Bryant, who's committed to LSU, edge out of South Carolina. Caden Henderson, a linebacker, Tampa, Florida. Joshua Dobson and John Meredith, both at cornerback. Keeping an eye on all those guys. A&M is very involved with every single one of them. All of them are planning to take visits. And they're well positioned. Now, are they going to get all those guys? Likely not, but they are very involved and in a position to make some big moves over the next few weeks with all of them. And before I know I mentioned wanting to talk about some cornerbacks, and I think I need to address a name I've been mispronouncing. Loya Balade, West Boca Raton. I got the right pronunciation. He is definitely a guy to keep on your radar. He has scheduled his official visit for June 12th, Miami, Florida, Auburn. Also getting official visits at this time. A&M, views him as a cornerback, kind of a guy who can play that nickel and do a little bit of everything out there. And he's one of the more recent prospects to get the offer and emerge on A&M's radar. But Loya Valade out of West Boca Raton, and then another one, Earl Kearns out of Indianapolis. He also recently scheduled his official visit. He's committed to Miami, Ohio. And recently, A&M, Michigan, Indiana. He has absolutely blown up his recruitment, and he's starting to make the rounds. But he's got A&M at the end of May, and he's going to take official visits to Michigan and Indiana as well. So a guy out of the Midwest to keep an eye on there.
And Dylan Mitchell's crazy fast?
Yes, 9.92 in the 6A 100-meter, and he had a 20.5 for second place in the 200, which is just incredible to say second place with that kind of time. But he was beaten out by UTEP's signee Blake Hamilton out of Katy with a 19.86 to just blow away the competition there. But a lot of big performers at the UIL state championships, and but Dylan just continues to post eye-opening numbers after eye-opening numbers. Texas A&M legacy recruit, just a dynamic player on the football field as well, and a guy that we think is going to be a highly valued recruit in the next cycle, in that 28 cycle.
Jason, last thing for you, some OVs to look out for.
I mean, the May 28th weekend, May 29th, you're going to have Ismail Kamara, you're going to have Eric McFarland, you've got Bryson Thrower, Jaden Fields in state that are going to be there. It's going to be pretty action-packed. Frederick Ards moved his official visit from June 12th weekend all the way up to that May 28th weekend or so. Yeah, keep an eye out. That first weekend is going to set the tone, and there's going to be a lot of big-time, high-priority prospects. John Meredith, another one who moved his OV date up from that 12th to the 28th. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye out. There's some moving pieces. Probably some guys, I wouldn't count out another move or two as the official visit schedule shifts. So, but yeah, it's It's going to be a fun time. Keep an eye out, and we'll try and keep you posted and as up to date as possible on TexAgs.
Jason, appreciate you, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
Anytime.
That's Jason Howell on the Puppies Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. We'll come back. We're going to try to catch up with Kendall Rogers. I know he's at the SEC tournament, so we'll see if he can make a few minutes for us. In Texas, your HVAC system isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. And when you need service, it does matter who you call. That's why I call the Daily Company, a locally owned and operated company that takes real pride in serving this great community. Their HVAC department provides comprehensive service, including repair, maintenance, and full system installation. So if your AC stops working in the middle of summer, your heater needs attention before cold snap, their licensed technicians are ready to help. They have emergency HVAC repair because they know that breakdowns never happen at your timing. It just happens at bad timing. That's how it works here. They have all the major brands that they work with, from Lennox to Trane to Goodman, you name it, they got it. The Daily Company, they stand behind their work, and they treat every customer like it's their own. Call Daily Company now at 979-260-2020. That's 979-260-2020. Stay comfortable year-round with a local team that you can trust. You can visit them online at godaily.com and experience the daily difference. All right, we're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's talk to our buddy Kendall Rogers, who I'm assuming is in Hoover on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline from D1Baseball. Our good friend Kendall, what up, buddy?
What's going on, man? I'm actually not in Hoover. We have two people there, so I'm watching from the command center this week, which is totally fine with the coaching carousel about to heat up.
Heck yeah! Sometimes that's the best way to do it. All right, let's get right into A&M. Picked 13th. They finished third in the league. They've had more injuries than, I don't know more than anybody, but they've had a lot of injuries, especially at inopportune times. They come back and win the Mississippi State Series. So just from your perspective, has A&M done enough to be a top 8 national seed?
As of right now, I think they have. The question would be, what do they do this week, and what do teams around them do? So I always hesitate. People always ask, well, hey, with this win, are they locked in? Well, maybe, but it depends. And when I say depends, so right now, if you're kind of an A&M fan, you're looking for a cheat sheet on what to watch this week, you want to watch Southern Miss. You want to watch Florida State, and maybe West Virginia. If they got hot and won the Big 12 tournament, I think I don't think they could be a top 8 unless they won that Big 12 tournament. So the teams would be Southern Miss, Florida State. So if you're an A&M fan, you want Florida to lose today. If you can get Florida to lose today, I don't think they'll be a top 8, and then that makes it essentially for me A&M, Southern Miss, and Florida State for one spot. And right now, as of today, I would give A&M the edge.
Help me understand the Florida thing. And I'm sure strength of schedule and RPI all plays a role, but A&M went to Gainesville and won. A&M's got a better record.
Yep.
Outside of Florida winning the SEC tournament, how could they pass A&M?
Well, the thing about Florida, if you look at their resume right now, they've got 15 quad 1 wins. If you look at their non-conference strength of schedule, and this is big, Florida's 22, A&M is 216. So if let's just say A&M went 0-1 in Hoover, and let's just say Florida got to Sunday or even Saturday, which would mean they won 3 games, they would have 18 quad 1 wins with a significantly better non-conference strength of schedule and a slightly better overall strength of schedule. And oh, by the way, they would have 21 league wins. A&M would have 18. So, yeah, the road head-to-head matters, but it doesn't matter if a team has 3 more wins in your conference and also played a much tougher non-conference schedule than you did. So, there's a lot of variables. It's not just, hey, we have the head-to-head, that's all that matters. It's also just your overall resume. And right now, I would give the edge to A&M right now. They're, comparable in RPI. They do have the head-to-head. They have 19 wins against Q1 and Q2 teams. But can Florida pass them? Absolutely.
It's interesting. How much does A&M's injury situation? Now, we had Coach Arley in studio on Monday, and he felt good about the direction it's going. But, the Aiden Sims missing another week potentially, and how does that play a role in the committee?
It can if he's out for the year. Everything I've been told about Aiden Sims, it sounds like he's at least going to be able to pitch in the postseason. It's more of a pain management thing than anything. So, unless there's some sort of breaking news in the last 24 hours on that, it does look like he's going to pitch again. So, given that, I don't think that hurts them because it's like, hey, the guy's available. You can't make the assumption that he's going to be bad. And that's what you're making the assumption on if you penalize A&M for a guy that's banged up, but not necessarily out for the season. Now, if he was out for the year, it absolutely could hurt you. But right now, I don't think it will.
Talking to Kendall Rogers here on TexAgs Live. You can catch his work at D1Baseball. Let's talk about some of the particulars from the Saturday game that I just thought was just beautiful. And tell me what you think, Kendall. The bunt from Travis Chestnut, the resilience from Clayton Freshcorn, who, had pitched the day before, looked really good, comes back, gives up the home run that gives up the lead. They come back and they win. Bear Harrison, all those things happening with already depleted pitching staff.
Yeah, I would say, frankly, that was probably one of the more gutsier wins I've seen from that program over the last couple of years. There are a lot of them, certainly. But, you think about the different elements of that game. You had Freshcorn having to come back after pitching the previous day. You had, Mike having to pull, Weston, was it the 4th inning that he pulled him?
Yep.
In that game?
Yes, sir.
I mean, it was really early, and so they were already stretched thin. And then, even the winning run, Hakopian looks like me out there running home because he's got that quad issue, and so you kind of add all those different things up, and I mean that was a super gutsy win, and that kind of gives you an idea, I think, of the overall. I'm not trying to be overly dramatic here, but I do think it gives you the idea of the overall kind of culture of this program now. Last year I did not feel like A&M last year with Early had kind of a culture and identity. But I think what you've seen in this team, especially as the season's progressed, and you saw in that final game with Mississippi State, is what this culture is. Like, those guys are playing really hard for each other. They're playing really hard for their coaches, and they're banged up. But man, it's hard to count against them at this point, even with some of the woes on the mound.
Ronnie explained to me why, before Wes Johnson was named the Coach of the Year, why he thought it was Wes's, and it makes sense, right? They were so far and better than everybody. But how interesting did Early make it, you think, in that voting?
He would be my runner-up. I mean, I think Wes had to be the choice considering how much he won that league by. But outside of that, it would have been Mike for me. It's been really interesting to see his growth as a coach. I knew him really well when he was the hitting coach at Arizona State, and this is back as a volunteer back in the old volunteer days, where you were literally working camp and that's all the money you got. And so just to see his evolution in the last 6 months has been pretty impressive. I think he's made smart moves managerial wise. I kind of feel like a lot of the decisions he made, frankly, last year at times were kind of panicky. Honestly, like most games I've watched this year, the decisions he's making are the right decisions, and they're at the right time. And so you're just seeing a guy, really kind of grow before your eyes a little bit. I'm not sitting there saying the guy's going to win 5 national championships, but I have been super impressed with the way he's managed this team and certainly kept them locked in when, there could have been, situations where this team could have labored a little bit with some of the setbacks they've had, particularly from an injury perspective.
Talking to Kendall Rogers here on TexAgs Live. So, Kendall, you told us what to watch out for from an A&M perspective. But what about from just a on-the-bubble perspective overall, or teams that can really be some movers and shakers that doesn't necessarily affect Texas A&M? What are you watching out for?
Yeah, NC State and Kentucky are top of mind. Kentucky now with 13 league wins, 13 and 18 against the SEC aggregate, which includes the SEC tournament loss. Boy, they're going to have to really limit stolen bids in other conferences throughout the week to get in. I think NC State, after losing yesterday, is in huge trouble. And so, what that does, that gives opportunities to the Sun Belt teams. Troy, Texas State. I think Texas State's in the tied or down by 1 in the 5th inning right now. South Alabama is in that next 4 for us. And then keep an eye on Vanderbilt. I know Vanderbilt's RPI is in the 70s still. I think it might actually be up to 69 now. But, Vanderbilt's RPI is not in a good spot, but the DSR, that new metric that the committee uses, Vanderbilt, is sitting in the 20 to 30 ranges. So in softball, they went pretty heavy with the DSR. Do not be surprised if Vanderbilt wins a game or 2 more in Hoover that Vanderbilt gets in. And by the way, speaking of the DSR, A&M is number 7 in that one. So, if you're just looking how they stack up against other potential, top 8 seeds, the DSR really likes the Aggies.
All right, last thing for you, Kendall. So, what is the right recipe from an A&M perspective to ensure their top 8 national seed? 1 win, 2 wins? What do you think it looks like in Hoover?
Yeah, again, it depends on what other teams do, but I would say this. If A&M wins Thursday and beats Texas again for the 3rd time, I would think that, I don't think there's anybody that can pass them up at that point. And so that's a lot to ask for. I think even if you win 1, I think you're probably still in a pretty good spot, but I think it opens the door for someone else to go on a run, one of those other 3 teams I mentioned. But again, if you win the first game and let's say you play Texas and beat them again, I don't understand. I don't really understand what the pitch would be against them being a top 8 outside of, maybe somebody, thinking there's too many SEC teams in there.
Kendall, appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you here soon. All right.
Guys, we'll chat with you soon. Thank you.
See ya. Kendall Rogers there on the Bumpy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. We'll close out the program with Kay Naegeli. Right now, let's talk Rollo Insurance. I love that team. Jackson, Jason, Keith, Morgan. Keith, I said him twice because, he texts me more. That whole team is great, right? That team is fantastic. And when I say that to you, just know that I actually use them as a personal testimony when I talk about Rollo Insurance. When I moved to town, that was one of the first phone calls and relationships I made. And they take care of everything for us, right? From our home and our auto, right? I don't have a ranch. If I did, they'd help me out with my ranch, but they can take care of you. They're local guys that do amazing work all across Texas, 60 great offices. Visit the website, rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. That website again, rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. Or call them up, 888-44-ROLLO. That is 888-44-ROLLO. I wish I had Olin here for it because he loves energy drinks. Catalyst Citrus Spark. This is one of the new flavors out there. Whether you're grinding through workouts, cramming for a test, or closing in on a deal or getting ready for TexAgs Live, you never know, right? Fast becoming the go-to fuel for Aggies everywhere. Zero sugar. I'm all in for that. Or synthetic sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. Catalyst delivers clean, high-performance energy with smooth, crisp taste that is never syrupy, designed for both health and hustle. You want to get going, you use this Catalyst right here. It's about pure energy and pure results. And what sets them apart? Packed with premium nootropics blended to boost focus, clarity, and mental stamina. I need this. I'm in, guys. I'm in. Plus, with plant-based caffeine, vitamin B12, B6, Catalyst supports metabolism and energy production, making it more than a drink. It's your lifestyle training partner. Built for competitors on the field, Catalyst fuels strength, focus, and pure results. Buy now at drinkcatalyst.com. That is drinkcatalyst.com. Train harder, think sharper, pure results. It's Catalyst.
I'm Wes Mangan, and I live on a piece of property with my wife and 2 boys and several animals. I work in oil and gas, and I travel a lot, and so when I come home, it's like my sanctuary. I get to see Lauren and the boys, and it's been just a perfect fit for us, and it's really improved our family time. And this is the first land I'd ever purchased, so dealing with the land side of things and dealing with Capital Farm Credit was super easy for us through the whole process. I definitely feel like with Capital Farm Credit, together we are better.
Everyone, David Nuño here for Allen Honda. Had a great conversation with them earlier today. John Allen's the owner. He's been here forever, and also their GM, Rusty Skinner, great guy. Wonderful conversation. They're super local. They're a family-owned dealership, not some massive auto group, and they treat their customers like family because they basically are family. They're Aggie alums. They love Aggie sports, and they've been serving the Brazos Valley with integrity, with passion, and commitment to excellence for over 50 years, which is very rare, by the way, for the independents because people trust them. And that's why they've been doing it for such a long time. Whether you're looking to buy, lease, or service your vehicle, you can count on them for transparent, no-pressure experience that puts your needs first. And I can attest to it. Had a great conversation about my own situation with them. Their knowledgeable sales team will help you find the perfect Honda to fit your lifestyle, from fuel-efficient sedans to versatile SUVs. Leasing options are flexible and affordable, making it easy to drive the latest models with confidence. And when it comes to service, their certified technicians only use genuine Honda parts to keep your vehicle running at its best, whether it's routine maintenance for major repairs or whatever it may be. And we know that trust isn't given, it is earned, and that's why generations of local drivers right here in the Brazos Valley and Bryan College Station keep coming back to Allen Honda. As part of the community with Aggie spirit in their hearts, they are here to make everyone's visit wonderful. So visit their showroom or their service lane and find friendly, efficient, and memorable situations when you go to Allen Honda. Come see why so many College Station and Bryan drivers choose Allen Honda for their automotive needs, and remember, gig 'em. Welcome back. In case you missed it, Sid and Kaylee in studio. What's up, friends?
Hello.
Did I miss anything? Because I didn't get the memo. We were playing a game.
Well, yeah, we are playing a game. This or that, Aggie Sports Edition. It's going to be a little fun segment today.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so our first one, Mario Craver over 1,000 receiving yards or Marcel Reed under 10 interceptions for the
Mario
season.
Craver over 1,000.
Okay, that was
Okay.
easy.
That doesn't mean I don't believe in the other, but you're making me pick one or the other.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick that one for right now.
Okay, Nick said the opposite.
Okay, well, then I lost.
Next
How
one.
about both? Sorry.
Next one, fourth quarter of the Notre Dame game or second half of South Carolina?
I hate this question.
This is a hard one.
Yeah, so I'm going to go Notre Dame because being on the field, watching that play is like, don't get me wrong, South Carolina, if the South Carolina comeback doesn't happen, I don't know if the Aggies are in the playoffs. But if they don't beat Notre Dame, I don't know if the Aggies are in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right.
And I attached that moment with like how I felt, how I saw it. Like oh my God, did he catch it? He got it. Oh my God. We're celebrating.
Yes.
Okay, there you go. Sound effects.
Okay, and next one. Marcel Reed rushes for 600 yards or throws for 3,500.
Marcel runs for 600 yards. I think he was slightly under that last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, give me over 600 for Marcel. Oh, this is not as bad. I thought it was going to be like, would you do a cannonball into a
No, Aggie Sports
rocket,
Edition.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Okay, this one y'all talked about a little this morning. 12.
You were listening?
Yeah, we
of
were
course.
both listening.
Oh, wow, thank you.
12, 16, or 2014 playoff.
12, 16, 24 playoff. All right.
Or
I'm going to give you multiple answers because I'm going to pull a Billy here. If I'm like, I don't know, Illinois, I want the 2014 playoff because they ain't getting in. But I believe in Elko, so give me 8.
Okay. Wow.
All right, I hope I'm right.
And now we're switching over to baseball. Caden Sorrell hits 25 homers or Gavin Gerhovac bats over 400.
Give me the 25 homers.
Aggies host a super regional or win the SEC tournament.
Host a super regional.
Walk-off homer or throw a no-hitter.
What? Okay. Context. What do I prefer? What's going to happen?
Like
what?
if the Aggies hit a walk-off homer or if
the
the
walk-off
Aggies,
homer.
Okay.
Walk-off homer. Yeah.
And now a fun one. Dinner at Casa de Brazil with Mike Elko or a round of golf with Jamie Morrison.
I hate golf. I like to play. Okay, so I'm going to
But
dinner
you
with
love
Coach.
Jamie.
I do love Jamie, but I feel like I can just text him later like, hey, bro, can we just do something else?
True.
I think I can do that.
Okay, this one is like for you.
Okay.
Workout with Tommy Moffitt or David Goggins.
I can't answer that. It's like picking my favorite kid. I don't do that. Like hero that I haven't met that could be mean in person, or my strength and training person that I've met that is nice in person. I pick, here, I'm going to tell you the answer. I'm going to pick